What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Phillies Hot Stove Podcast. I am Luke here. I just got off another podcast. I had a whole entire thing, and I realized that the mic quality wasn't on. So frustrating. I just talked. I was so good, too, and I just talked for that long, and now I just lost all of it. So I'm going to have to redo it over again. So the Phillies, I'm going to recap this Phillies-Tiger series. I apologize for no daily recap. I have school, and I cannot do it. I have after-school activities, school after-school sport as well, so I do not have time to do it. So that's why. So once the summer comes around, and obviously during the weekends until the summer's really, really close, I will be doing a daily recap on the weekends, and when summer comes, I'll be able to do a daily recap. Until then, it's just going to be like this, where just I'm just going to have to recap a series. I don't have time right now to do it every day. So, but my after-school sport is going to be ending pretty soon, so after that, maybe I could start doing it again. So the Phillies lost the first game to the Detroit Tigers 3-1 as Vince Velasquez went 3 1/3 over 100 pitches. This reminds me of the Vince Velasquez of last year, where he only could pitch 5 innings and he just pitches over 100 pitches. I mean, that is unbelievable. Unbelievable. Typical Vince Velasquez of last year. That reminds me of the Vinny V from last year and the years leading up to that. It just reminds me of a typical Vinny V outing. I apologize if you hear noises upstairs. I'm so sorry about that. That is so annoying. That is a typical Vinny V outing. And we haven't really seen out of him this year, but that last game was the first game where we saw a Vinny V. That is plain and classic Vinny V for you. Can't go deep into games, pitches over 100 pitches in 3 1/3. That's unbelievable. Unbelievable. How do you pitch 100? How do you throw 100 pitches in just 3 innings? 3 1/3. I don't get it. So the bats were horrible in that first game. We got a hit in the second inning, and then we didn't get a hit. We got 3 hits total. We didn't get a hit. We got a hit in the second inning, and then we didn't get another hit until the 9th inning when J.T. Mitchell hit a little weak ground ball up the middle that somehow found a hole. And that was our last hit, and we just stranded J.T. at first base. So very, very rough first game. Easily could have swept out the Tigers. We easily could have won that first game. Second game, totally different story. As Aaron Nola took the mound, he only went 5 1/3. He only went 5 1/3, 5 2/3. My bad. 5 2/3 is he kind of was going through, like, his curveball was really, really good. His curveball was fantastic in the game. He struck out Miguel Cabrera on his curveball. His curveball was very, very effective. He only threw his fastball 32% of the time, and he got his curveball. He was very, very effective with that curveball. And I told you that is a huge, huge part of Aaron Nola's success is that curveball. It's going to be effective, and it was in the Detroit Tigers game. Now, I understand he did not get the win. He didn't pitch great, but that curveball, that was very, very promising to see from Aaron Nola. That's not the curveball we've seen since last year. So I'm seeing glimpses of Aaron Nola from last year, and that is very, very good. So he only went 5 2/3, 7 hits, 1 earned run. 1 earned run. Aaron Nola only got 1 earned run. He walked 3, struck out 6. And his ERA is down to 5.06. Every game, it goes down. So let's hope that continues. So he pitched well. And he gave up a lot of cheap hits, a lot of blooper in the outfield that Harper missed. Or Cesar, rather. I don't know whose fault it was. I'm going to blame Harper because I think he probably should have gotten it. It was in the right field. I want to blame Cesar, but I got to blame Harper because it was his fault. It was his ball. A lot of cheap hits that Aaron gave up. So he didn't get the win, but he didn't pitch bad. So he's getting there. He's starting to look more like Aaron Nola, which is very, very promising. So, we used a lot of different pitchers. We used Neshek, Ramos, and Neris, and Dominguez ended up getting the win. So that was cool. Now let's talk about the offensive side. Let's look at the box score. I'll tell you all about it. Andrew McCutchen, 3 for 4. And he drove in a run as well, so it looks like he's starting to snap out of that slump he was in. Gene Segura does his typical Gene Segura thing, 2 for 4. That's why we call him Gene the Hit Machine. All he does is gets hits. Harper, we'll talk about him in a second. I'm going to have a little piece about Bryce Harper. He went 0 for 4, but we'll get into that a little later. Anyway, Hoskins went 1 for 4 with an RBI. JT Muto, the team leader in batting average at 288, got two hits and 4 at bats. Sean Enriquez was 1 for 2. He left the game early after being hit by a pitch in the hand, and the ball bounced off his hand and hit him right in the jaw. So he might be going on the IL. That looked pretty painful. Aaron Altair got on that bat, and he didn't get a hit. And his average is now 0.36. You heard me. 0.36. No comment. I'm not even going to comment on that. You know how I feel about that. Cesar he's tied. He's not tied, but he's the team leader in hits right now. So that is, and Hoskins is 3 hits behind him. Yeah, that's nuts. Can't believe Cesar is our team leader in hits. That's crazy. Yeah, so he got 3 hits on the night, drove in a run. He got a clutch RBI single, so that drove in a run. So, yeah, great. Cesar, if you just improve your defense, and then I'll like you. Franco, I should say, went 2 for 4, and he is tied with Rhys Hoskins for 25 RBIs. And keep in mind, he's an 8-hole hitter. Keep in mind, 8-hole hitter. That's just crazy. He's our eighth guy in the lineup, and he's hitting 262 with 7 dongs and 25 ribbies. I mean, that's crazy. An 8-hole hitter. Keep in mind, he's hitting 8th. Keep it in mind. Just saying. It's got to be that is our secret weapon. Michael Franco is our secret weapon. Aaron Nola, we already talked about him. He got on that bat. He didn't hit. Nick Williams went 0 for 1. Better than Nick Williams, I guess. Bill Gosselin came off the bench. First pitch swing and hit the opposite field over Nick Castellanos' head. And I think it drove in a run. It was a double. So nice hit by Gosselin. He got his average up to 261, which is nice to see. It was a nice line drive over the head of Nick Markakis. Or Nick Castellanos. All right. Now it's time to talk about Bryce Harper. Now, I'm planning to make a video about Bryce Harper and discussing his stats and looking back at his history, and I want to make a long video about that, and I'm going to explain to you guys about how well he's going to do in Philly, and I'm going to explain to you guys to not be so surprised when he does struggle. Now, if you go look at his years past, in 2015, he hit .330 with 42 home runs, and then he fought with a .460 on-base percentage, and then he followed up the following year with a .243 batting average with 24 home runs and a .373 on-base percentage. So quite a difference. So he went from hitting .330 with 42 home runs with a .460 on-base percentage. .460 on-base percentage. .460. That is crazy. .460 on-base percentage. Can you get that through your head? .460 on-base percentage. .460. That is nuts. And he followed up the year hitting .243 with 24 home runs and a .373 on-base percentage. So it was like his 2015 year and his 2016 year. So it just went way down. The on-base percentage was still pretty good, though. .373 for that 16 season. He followed up the year. He got hurt in 2017. He hit 29 home runs. So if he would have played a full season, maybe we would have saw the 2015 Harper. Obviously, in 2018, he hit .249 with 34 home runs, 100 RBIs. First time in his career he has drove in 100 runs. And he led the he got a lot. He had a career high in walks. So that was pretty good to see out of him last year. But he hit .220 in the first half, and he came back in over 300 in the second half. So Bryce Harper is a very inconsistent player, so keep that in mind. Listen, Bryce Harper's awesome. Okay, he's my favorite Philly. He's my favorite player, but he's inconsistent. He's hitting .231 right now with 6 home runs. And he's out for his last 12. And Corey Seedman came out with a stat. So he had 4 at-bats, so now he is 4 for his last. If you get rid of that 5-hit game in Colorado he is 4 for his last 43. And that is good for a it's below 200 or it's below 100. That is good for a 0.93 batting average. He is 4 for his last 43. That is a 0.93 batting average. Now, keep in mind that is if you do take that 5-hit game out of Colorado. Okay, so that's not including the game out of Colorado. So we got 5 hits. So that is not including that. But that's still terrible. Bryce Harper is a very inconsistent player. He's a great player, but he's just inconsistent. I just showed you an example. I'm going to go in depth about him, make a video. Maybe it won't be this weekend. Maybe it'll be a little bit later. I'm a little bit busy this weekend. We'll see how it goes. But I'm planning to make a video on this, not in the near future, to talk about that. I'm going deep into Bryce Harper's stats and explaining to you, he had how the ups and downs he's had. He can kind of, I don't want to give it away now because I'm going to make a video designated to this. But sometimes his slump can last the whole entire season. You saw that in 2016, and you saw his slump can last a half of the season. That's what happened the first half of, I can't even speak. The first half of the season last year when he hit like 220. And I know the on-base percentage was good, but come on, the average is important. And it was only 220. So it wasn't there. So JT Realmuto continues to stay hot, 288 batting average. Rhys Hoskins got another home run, 9 home runs. Let's talk about the end of the month stats. JT Realmuto is it's like the third time I said in this video, he is the team leader in batting average, 288. Rhys Hoskins is the team leader in home runs at 9. Cody Bellinger leads the National League in home runs at 14. Rhys Hoskins and Maikel Franco are tied with team lead RBI at 25, and Harper and Kutch are tied with the most walks at 23. And Harper leads the Phillies in strikeouts with 38. That is a lot of strikeouts. So Harper needs to work on those strikeouts, I tell you. So, yep. So we got an off day today. Unfortunately, the Mets won, the Nationals won. So, yeah, it's a shame. But on Friday night, Jared Eichhoff takes the mound to open up the series against Jeremy Hellickson, former Philly. Eichhoff goes into Friday night's game with a 2.12 ERA. And on Saturday night, I will be at the game in left field. Jake Arrieta takes the mound, and he goes into that game with a 4-2 record and with a 3.46 ERA. And then for the finale game on Sunday, Zach Eflin will take the mound, and he's coming off a complete game, and his record this year is 3-3 with a 3.34 ERA. So going into that game, he's going to be coming off of a complete game. So I'm sure it's going to be, confidence booster. I'm sure for him. So since he's trying to be more of a consistent pitcher, because Zach Eflin is not the most consistent pitcher in the world. So, guys, that is just about it. It's like 10 p.m. right now. I'm tired. I have to get up early tomorrow. So tomorrow's Friday, May 3rd, and I'm very, very happy that this week is over. So summer is almost here. Can't wait to make a lot of fun videos in the future. Talk a lot of Phillies baseball with you guys. There might be a couple like outside stuff. I really want to make a video about Chris Davis of the Baltimore Orioles and kind of discuss how he kind of fell off. So I don't want to talk about it now because Chris Davis has nothing to do with our team. So, but I do want to make a video about that, even though it's non-Phillies related. But I just thought it was interesting. So, but keep in mind that video about Harper. I'm going to make a video about Bryce Harper and discuss his stats and go deep into his stats and explain to you why it may not be surprising to see him in the slump he's in right now. Because everyone goes through ups and downs, but Bryce Harper's slumps can be brutal. And Bryce Harper's hot. He's the hottest hitter in baseball. When he's not playing well, he could be the worst player in baseball. So it's one extreme to another for Bryce Harper. I mean, that's always how it's been for him. It's not something new. He didn't just sign with the Phillies and that magically happened. People act like that. Bryce Harper's always been that kind of guy. So it's not something new. So thank you all so much for watching this video. Oh, and by the way, other news in our division: Anthony Rendon was placed on the 10-day IL, I should say, after being hit in the elbow like a couple weeks ago. And Nats GM Mike Rizzo finally put him on the IL, 10-day. Trey Turner's still hurt. And Juan Soto's been out of the lineup for 2 games in a row now because of his back. So I'm a huge Rendon fan. I was looking forward to going to the game and seeing him, and kind of pissed off that he's not going to be there. I guess it helps us because Rendon's a Philly killer, but still I wanted to see him play. Hopefully, I'm sitting left field, so hopefully I can get to see Juan Soto play, and hopefully Davey Martinez doesn't scratch him from the lineup again because of his bad back. So yeah, that's pretty much it. What's the Mets pitcher, Jeurys Familia? He was on the 10-day IL as well. So that's good. I don't want to see players get hurt. I don't want to be celebrating an injury. I shouldn't say that. But, Jeurys Familia is a jerk. So, he did some bad things. Yeah, he's a bad dude. But anyway, thank you all so much for watching this video. I'm Luke. Thank you all so much for the support and the nice comments and everything. Thank you so much. I'm Luke, and I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.